Hi, everyone.
Hey, good evening. Welcome. Today we are going to be talking about making wreaths and selling wreaths. So we are wanting to hear all of your questions.
Any questions that you have? Make sure the sound's off of that. Click the X. Yes, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Just put them in the comments and we will do our best to answer them. And I have a bug that just flew in my hair. So sorry. But we will do our best to answer that. So yeah, so just ask any questions that you have. I'm Sherry Buckner, and this is my daughter, Amanda Kleckler, and we are with Grace Monroe Home, where we make ordinary front doors extraordinary, and we teach others to do the same thing.
Yes, and we are just so excited to be here tonight. So thank you so much for joining us. When you hop on, just let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Say hi, and go ahead and post your questions so that we can be answering them.
Hey, Janet and Mary, Carrie, hey.
Hello, ladies.
Andrea.
Welcome. So
it's good to have y'all on.
So we're really excited today. Today is the last day to join our Design with the Pros Club.
Yes, there's just 6 more hours.
So we're really excited about that. The ladies are having a great time that are in the club, and we've had so many that have joined in the last couple weeks. So if you are wanting to be a part of that, we will put the link in the comments where you can take a look at that, and we would love to see you in the group.
Yes.
Tonight, we are going to talk about making wreaths and selling wreaths. So post your questions in the comments, and we will start answering them.
If you have challenges or if you just have questions, we will be happy to answer those. And if you don't mind sharing this, we would certainly appreciate that. Someone else that you know may have some questions that they'd like to ask. So we would appreciate that.
Yes. Hey, April, Shelly, Carrie.
Hey, Linda.
Jean, Linda, thank you all so much.
Several of our ladies from our Design with the Pros Club are on here,
Linda,
so we appreciate all of you joining us.
Andrea, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yes.
So I know we did have a question earlier that someone posted asking if you have 2 doors on the front of your house. So if you have like a garage door facing the street and you have your front main entrance door, how would you use or style your wreaths for those? And if you have a customer that requests wreaths for those, how would you make them? So I think that either you would make them matching or you would do them coordinating.
Yes.
So maybe you would make one of them a full wreath, maybe a full grapevine wreath with silk florals and greenery. And then maybe on the secondary door, maybe the garage door, you would put maybe a half wreath with coordinating flowers and coordinating greenery or embellishments like that.
Yes, I think that would work. You just, and I have actually done this for several customers where I have made a larger wreath for the front door and then just a smaller version. So there's several things you could do. I personally like the coordinating, you know, not having the exact same wreath, but having something just a little different. I think that looks kind of neat and gives it more interest and stuff.
So yeah, so a lot of times when a customer will come to us about a wreath, and I'm sure that they do you that way as well, they will ask, you know, can you just make me something that looks good?
Yes.
You know, and I think that puts you in the position of trying to figure out what the customer wants.
Yes.
So in that case, you could ask them questions, you know, give them suggestions. Some people would, you know, just want them exactly alike on both doors, but then others, you know, they're going to want something a little different. So that's part of our job as designers and as business owners to really find out our customers and what they want, you know, and learn about our customers and get to know them, because if you can really get to know your customer and they love your work, they're going to keep coming back.
Yes,
you know,
and
that's
it's
what
a lot easier to keep a customer than to start over getting one. So you always want to keep that in mind,
right,
too. So, and the main thing that I have found helpful is to ask a lot of questions. You know, just ask tons of questions, even to the, you know, if I'm doing a front door wreath and they do that, just say, you know, make me something. I will ask what color what's your furniture on your front porch? What kind of cushions do you have in your chairs? Or what kind of patterns on those? What kind of flowers do you have in your flower beds? What colors? That kind of thing, to kind of get an idea of what I'm going to make. So
yeah, because we have to remember, it's not always about us and what we like in our style.
Right.
We really need to figure out our customers and ask a lot of questions and learn them and find out their style, because that's what's going to keep them coming back.
Exactly.
All right, so let's see. Carla, hello. Mary, welcome.
And Carolyn, hi.
Janet, so good to see you all. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I would like you to post in the comments, what do you feel is your biggest challenge when making wreaths? So what do you struggle with? What is the thing that just keeps you up at night? Whatever it is, put it in the comments, and we are going to be answering your questions.
Yes, and if you are a wreath buyer and not a wreath maker, what particular style do you like? What are you interested in seeing?
Mm-hmm.
So just put that in the comments.
Yes, and if you are a first-time viewer, welcome. We are so
Yes.
blessed to have you. Just let us know in the comments. Just tell us
Yes.
first-timer. We will be going back and answering questions after
Yes, exactly.
this broadcast is over.
So if you are watching the replay, we will, continue to ask your questions. We will be happy to answer those. And if you have any questions about the group, the Design with the Pros group, feel free to ask those, and we will answer those as well.
No, we're not going to be making a wreath tonight, guys. We're just going to be answering questions to help you out.
Yes.
So we're just going to be chatting a little bit, just answering your questions about wreath making. So somebody was asking about ribbon color and ribbon color, ribbon placement, like knowing what kind of combinations of ribbons.
Yes.
So what would you say about that? How do you choose your ribbon colors?
Well, if I'm just going just to look for something and not actually, have something to go by, like, a customer's not asked for anything, I usually, to be honest, pick my ribbons first, and I will pick one ribbon that I just really love, and then I will just take that ribbon, I will look and see what coordinates with that ribbon. I will hold different ribbons up. A lot of times they're packaged to where you can't actually take it out and loop it. But if I can make a loop on my ribbon, if I can just take a loop like this and then pull out several and loop them and just see, that gives me an idea of what my bow's going to look like. But usually I will pick one ribbon first, and usually it's going to be a 2.5 inch. That's usually my main ribbon that I like. And then I will pick several, that I like to go with that by just holding them up and just seeing how they do. It did take me a long time to get used to doing the, patterns and doing different patterns together. But now that I do, I love it. But, I was old school where you just didn't mix patterns. But I'm really glad that I started doing it, because it makes it so much more colorful and just really helps it a lot. So
yes. Okay, Linda was asking about the Shahbandar Glue Gun that we used the other night, and this is the one that we used. It is the Detailed Mini Glue Gun.
Yes, the Detailed Mini. It has the on-off switch.
So it comes in really handy.
I don't think it has an actual number on it. It just says Detailed.
But it's a mini
and
one
it is
that
a
we
high
use.
temp.
Yeah, it's a high temp. Definitely.
We have a wasp flying over us.
So April said that her biggest challenge is knowing when to stop adding flowers to a wreath and having confidence in her creations. So first of all, let me just address the adding flowers to a wreath. That was probably my biggest problem. For 2 or 3 years after I started making wreaths, I thought that I just had to just cover the whole thing in flowers. I mean, I just filled it with flowers and flowers and more flowers, and I didn't know when to stop. But the problem with that is that it costs a lot of money to add a lot of flowers.
Yes, it does.
So for me, it was really just kind of stepping out of my comfort zone, April, and using more greenery. I just started having to practice with it, and greenery was a little bit difficult for me to grasp for a while. Like, I just didn't know where to put it, and I felt awkward, and I didn't know, if it looked right that way, but the more that I practiced with the greenery and the more that I could incorporate the greenery, the less, amount of flowers that I had to use, which, in the end saves us money.
Yes, it does.
And then I'll let you talk about having confidence in your designs and in your creation.
Yes, and that, honestly, that takes just people buying them. Once more people buy them, I mean, I will be honest, I still have days that, I will look at a wreath and think, but then I'll have Amanda look at it and she'll say, oh, I love that. So, if you have somebody that can critique it for you, that's always very helpful. But the main thing to remember is that everybody's taste is different. And just because one person loves something and somebody else doesn't like it, there's going to be a buyer for your particular wreath, because there's so many people. Everybody has different opinions and different tastes. So, I think it really just takes a lot of practice and just putting them out there to sell. So
yeah, and I really think it just, it's just developing a confidence within. I think anytime, I think it doesn't matter what kind of creative thing you do, whether it's, wreaths or painting or writing or singing or whatever it is. When you put your heart out there,
you're
and that's
putting
what
a part
it
of
is.
yourself.
When we make these wreaths, it's really close to home. I mean, it's part of us, and
Yes.
it's our own creativity. And when we put that out there to the world, of course, you're gonna, be a little scared about what people are gonna think about it. But I think that just having confidence in yourself and believing in yourself just really, it's what grows your confidence in your designs. And the more you do it, the more comfortable and the more confident that you will be. So, yeah, it's just...
Yeah, never got a notification.
Sherry, I'm not sure, but I'll check and see if you're on our notification. She says she didn't get a notification for the last
but
one.
we'll check on that.
Yeah, we'll check on that for you. And make sure.
And just so that you all know, in the comments, sometimes they scroll by so fast that we don't see them, but we try to answer everything. So if you have a question for us and we haven't answered you, ask it again. I mean, we may have missed it, so... And we don't want to miss anybody, so make sure to keep asking till we answer you.
Definitely. Hey, Linda, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Okay, so today, if you are just hopping on, we're just answering questions. We're just chit-chatting just a little bit. We're not making anything today. We're just chit-chatting and answering some questions.
Yes, and she said greenery is definitely intimidating. April said that.
Well,
And see, that's my favorite part, so that just shows that everybody's different. Amanda found it intimidating, but I love greenery. That's my thing, and I like to mix it together. I like to look at, that's the first place I head to look for something for a wreath is the greenery.
I really feel like sometimes you plan your wreath around the greenery.
I really do, because I love it. And so but that's just, everybody is different, and that's just my thing. So
yeah, okay, so Jean, she was saying, how do you price a wreath in any particular formula? Okay, well, there's not really one set way that you can price, and in our Design with the Pros group, we do talk a lot about pricing your wreaths. I think that a lot of it depends. When somebody comes to me, a client comes to me and asks me, how much should I sell my wreath for? There are some questions that I like to ask them, like, how long have you been making wreaths? Mm-hmm. How many wreaths have you already sold? Do you have a following? Do you have any reviews or, recommendations, referrals, things like that? Because all of that really play a part in pricing your wreath.
Yes.
Now, you could do the standard materials times 2 or cost of materials times 3. But I'm going to tell you, if you're just starting out, that may not be effective for you. And the reason that I say that is because I know when we first started selling wreaths back in 2007, there were wreaths that we sold for $25.
Barely made, and
$30.
sometimes lost money on.
Sometimes we lost money on them, and sometimes we made barely anything on them. And I know that you guys are cringing at the thought of doing that, but I promise for us it was very effective.
Because we built our clientele.
Yes.
We built up our customer base, and that is important.
Reviews and referrals and things like that really go a long way in this industry, because, you know, we live in a social world, and really people care, you know, what other people have to say about your product. So I would suggest, if you're just starting out selling, sell them a little bit lower, you know, and go ahead and start getting that client base, getting that following. If you have a Facebook page, you know, really start promoting your Facebook page, really get a following behind your work, and then you can raise your prices.
Yes.
Now, standard would be 2 times the cost of your supplies, or if you've, you know, been in the industry for a while, you can a lot of times triple the cost. But, you know, consider other things too when you are pricing.
Right. I think Cindy had asked, what do you think about Instagram for getting your Yes, I think that you need at least two of the social medias that you need to really work hard on.
Yeah. So I would suggest, you know, Facebook definitely. You know, there are billions of people every day on Facebook, and I know that a lot of people are like throwing their hands up at Facebook because, you know, the algorithm change has really affected us as Facebook business owners. You know, we have 111,000 followers, and a lot of times only 500 of our followers will see our posts organically. You know, so Facebook, you know, is getting a bad reputation a little bit, but I promise it's not going anywhere. So you really need to focus on your Facebook, and really focus on live video and really engagement with your followers in your client base. Now, I would also suggest that you have at least one other form of social media that you use. Instagram is great, and if you love Instagram, I say go for it. Instagram is great for Wreaths because it's a very visual platform. You know, it's based on photos, so just make sure that if you are using Instagram, this is really important. If you're using Instagram, make sure that you're using very clear, good photos.
Very good, yes.
That's very, very important for Instagram. And then Pinterest. And I think Pinterest is a great way to get your wreaths out there too. Pinterest is a really great way to sell wreaths.
Let's see. And I think we had a...
okay, I want to make sure I'm not missing any.
How do you know? Okay,
yeah, I think
we answered that one. When shipping wreaths, what special packaging things do you do to secure them? First of all, we try to get the box as close to the wreath size as possible. Now, we do not go over 24 by 24 by 6, and we prefer 22 by 22 by 6 for our wreaths, because anything over those are going to have the balloon charge that you're going to have to pay. So you don't want that. But we use craft paper. If the wreath is not big enough, you can use craft paper. You can wire the wreaths in.
Yeah, wiring is really great. You can wire the wreaths to the box, which you would just make holes, you know, use an ice pick or a knife.
Holes, yes.
Make holes and wire your wreath to the box, or, you know, use craft paper and really make sure it's secure. But the important thing is to make sure that it doesn't move. So whatever you have to do to make sure that the wreath doesn't move, because the less movement will make it more, you know, cause the less damage, basically.
Yes.
So,
so
and we
want it secure.
We always use bubble wrap, even if we are wiring it in, we still use bubble wrap. We always put tissue paper in it, because that's a little tactic that we started using a while back, because you want to make your customers feel like they're opening a gift. If you can give them the best experience, they're more likely to come back.
Yes.
So just make sure that you put, you know, you don't have to use a tissue paper, but I think it's something that people have always loved about what we do. And then we put a little card in there.
Yes.
Let's see. All right. And Teeny says, well, hey, Sylvia. And hey, Lori.
Yes.
Teeny says shipping is just a killer for a wreath business. And I tell you, shipping's tough.
It is tough.
But it's manageable.
But it is. Yeah, we ship all over the world.
We do. And I know that when we started many years ago, we made huge wreaths. Huge.
Oh, my goodness.
Huge wreaths.
Yes. Because I don't know when to stop.
But
when
back
I start
then,
them.
it did not cost as much to ship them. Now, you really have to, and it's kind of sad that we have to do that, but we kind of have to make sure that the wreaths that we make are within, unless the customer,
the guideline, unless the customer are willing
requests
to pay,
larger and is willing to pay that balloon charge. I do suggest that you try to make your wreaths so that they can fit in a 24 by 24 by 6. And then using USPS, I mean, you can ship under $20 pretty much anywhere in the continental U.S.
Yes.
Let's see.
Started
Two things. Okay, Ethel said she started a Facebook business page, but she does not know how to link it to things, and some folks say they don't see my posts. Well, Ethel, that's what we were talking about before. The way that Facebook has changed their algorithm, it is harder to be seen. They're not showing it to everyone. Facebook is saying that they value community and they value engagement and they value relationship. So they're not showing as many just regular posts. They want you to produce content.
Which means engaging your customer.
Yeah, that engages base. Your community.
Yes.
So if you're not being seen a whole lot, Ethel, I would say you probably need to do some Facebook Lives. That'll help your reach. And when you post things on Facebook, try to post them in a way where people have to engage with you. So ask your community, which I call our Facebook page like your community, ask them questions that they have to come back and answer. Because the more engagement that you get, which means the more comments, the more likes, the more shares, the more that Facebook is going to show your things.
But you can't ask them to share or to like or to comment. You can't use those words in your post because Facebook will ding you for that.
Yeah,
and
don't ever
won't
use the words
share this or like this.
Yeah.
None of that. You can't do that anymore. You used to could, but they've changed it now. So, but you can always, how would you word something if you were going to ask a question? You could say...
well, just say it in a way that would... you can ask them questions like, what is your favorite color combination?
For,
whatever, just throwing that out there.
Do you all use wreaths for every season?
Or which season do you prefer to hang your wreaths? Or, something like that.
Just something to, just to get people to respond back. Because the more they do that, the more Facebook will show you.
Okay, and Teeny said, I have been shipping signs that I paint, and if I ship about 4 to 5 signs, it's almost $50 to ship them. Now that's the total, but dear Lord, if you're selling for $25 and $8 in shipping.
It is and
high.
Especially if it's a heavier, item too. So
it is high. Make sure, I hope, Teeny, that you're using USPS. Just try to get your box size as small as you can with those. I don't know how heavy they are, but it's funny because the weight doesn't always really affect
a lot of times it doesn't.
As much as the actual dimensions of the box. And Lori said, since I'm just getting started, I sold my patriotic wreath for $30. Okay, well, Lori, that is a tactic that we used, and, it really worked for us because, it's good because it starts gaining your client base, but then it also kind of gives you confidence to start raising your prices. And, you're going to find your customers, and that's just the thing. You have to just find the people that, really value what you do, and you'll start to do that.
And see, the whole key is that person that bought that wreath, Lori, that they're going to get it. They're going to love it on their door. So the next time they need a wreath, they're going to come back to look for you. Well, yours may be a little higher at that point, but they remember how much they loved their wreath, and so they're going to go ahead and buy it. And that's the key. And you just you just want to give really good customer service to your customers, and you will build up a customer base, and then you can raise your prices.
Yeah, and the thing is, I wouldn't go from selling a wreath for $30 to the next week $150.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be like a really big jump. But just gradually start raising the prices. Next wreath, sell for $40.
Exactly.
And just go up from there. And I've seen your wreaths, Lori, and they're beautiful.
They're gorgeous.
And you will get what they're worth.
Yes, you will.
Let's see. Sherry Ann says, great tips. Thank you. Well, you're welcome.
We are happy to do it.
Leslie said the placement of accessories like fruit, utensils, birds, animals, and she also needs more swags for doors and walls.
Yes, that's you know, that is something that we do teach in our Design with the Pros club. It is difficult to, you know, to get the hang of some of the things. Now, I'm not sure if you're saying that you don't like a birdhouse, for instance. You know how to wire that in and how to get it in, but you just don't know where to place things. A lot of that would be just, you know, trying. Just take them and place them and step back. I can't tell you how many times I have to step back and walk around and look, and, you know, if I don't like it, then I move it. But that just really comes with practice, with using. I use a lot of fruit in my designs. I like using fruit. I try to have, if I'm going to use fruit, I use several sizes. I, you know, make sure that your fruit's not all one size. But if you've seen any of our designs, we do use a lot of fruit in them. Butterflies, bees, you know, anything like that. My key is to always make it, as far as like your little critters and things, I want it to look as natural as if I walked out in my garden and saw that, you know. Try to make it, if you're going to put a bee, for instance, where would you find a bee? You're not going to find it just, you know, sitting anywhere. You're going to find it in the middle of the flower, you know. So, you know, you want to think about those things. Birds, you know, if you put a birdhouse, I don't always, in fact, most of the time, I don't use the little bird, what do you call that, the roost, whatever that little thing, stick is that the bird sits on. I like to put them on top of the birdhouse, because if you look around, that's usually where you're going to see them. They're going to be sitting on top, or, you know, over to the side watching the birdhouse while his little friend's sitting there. So you just kind of have to think, you know, how would you find it in nature?
Yeah, and that's something that she really taught me years ago, is use nature as your inspiration. You know, go and just go outside and walk around and really just get inspired and motivated by the things that you see around you. And also, a really good tip is just take a picture of it, you know, and then later go back and look at it and just see, like, does that look out of place? I mean, ask the people around you, you know, how do you think this looks? Does that look right there? You know, ask for a second opinion. You know, that's what I do. I mean, we always, you know, ask each other's opinions. And sometimes, even, you know, both of us will end up asking somebody else's opinion.
Yes, especially if we both disagree, then we'll turn to ask a third person. Somebody said, what is the boost option, and is it worth the money? That's just where you can pay Facebook to promote your post, you know, to more people. You can choose who you want it to go to and that kind of thing. Is it worth the money? Well, that's a hard question.
It's not worth the money if you're not effective in your
whole advertising.
So if you're going to play around with Facebook ads or boosting, I would suggest doing a little bit of research on that first, because if you don't do it correctly, it's just like water really going down the drain. Yeah, but I mean, if you have something special going on, if you have a promotion or a sale or something, I think that it can be good. Just make sure that you are targeting the right people, and just do a little research on that, because, you know, if you're not careful, you can waste a lot of money.
For instance, if you have a post that you have boosted, and then you're going to do, you know, a live or something else, you know, chances are Facebook's not going to show this other one because you have boosted this one. So you just kind of have to think about all those. And there's a lot of things that you can read, you know, online, and even Facebook help.
And something with Facebook, before you go and start boosting and spending money, putting money into that, I don't know, Terry, I don't know anything about your Facebook page or how many fans you have or whatever, but you might want to, if you're going to put money into it, you might want to consider putting money into like ads. So getting more people to your page.
That would be better.
Before you boost. before you spend the money to boost your post. Also, Terry, for Facebook, consistency is what's really important. Make sure that you're posting every day, 2 to 3 times a day, more if you can, and make sure you're creating content and posts that are really engaging to people. And if somebody comments on your post, Terry, make sure that you answer them back. Okay, and go through and like all the comments and make sure to respond back to all the comments, and that will start getting your page and your post being shown more organically so that you don't have to pay.
Yes, and make sure not to, your content can't be all sales post, putting your wreath one after another, on there for sale. Facebook does not like that. So,
and it's not just Facebook.
Right.
But
people don't like it. Yes.
So, the rule of thumb is 80 to 20. So 80% of what you post is going to be non-sales related, which means it's going to be like you're going to be sharing things from larger
recipes,
pages, like Terry sharing from a post that we made will help your engagement. And it's funny, but it's just the way that Facebook works. So find a page that's larger than you, but that is similar to what you're doing, and start sharing their posts. Mm-hmm, the more that you do that, the more that Facebook will start showing your posts. So do that. Be consistent. Facebook Lives, if you can. They're great.
Yes, Cindy said she's scared of them, and I know you are. I mean, we were petrified at first. I shook the whole first one that I ever did.
If you guys go back and look at like the very first live, you'll see the camera.
No, don't,
because I was holding the camera and it was like shaking like that. That was me shaking.
Yes.
So yes, everybody.
We all are like that, all of us. But it gets easier.
It does.
It really does.
It does. Let's see if we have any more questions. Cindy says she struggles with pricing too.
Yes,
yeah, that's a big struggle.
I think that's a hard one for everybody. This is really an art form. Yes.
Yeah, so Sherry says making wreaths is really an art form, and you're not going to appeal to everyone, but that's okay. Great. That's great advice, Sherry. Being a creative, you have to learn to be happy with your own work, and others will follow. And that's
the truth.
Terrific advice.
Yes, it is, Sherry.
Yeah,
that's
because
very good.
That's right.
Hey, Suzanne.
The truth is, she and I have very different tastes.
We do. We really do.
We have very different taste in wreaths. So the wreaths that I make, they don't look like the wreaths that she makes.
No, they don't.
I have a more traditional really style when it comes to wreaths. I'm not so much about
I'm crazy.
Wild and
I like them wild and crazy.
And that's her style.
That's
people
my
love that.
style. Yes, but they love hers
and then
too.
The ones that's
why we have customers for both. Yes.
So Sherry Ann's really right. It's an art form, and think of it that way. And just be confident in your own art and put yourself out there, and you'll find your people.
Yes.
And that's what it's about, finding your people. And you will. It may take some time, and it might not happen overnight, but you will. You'll find your customers.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Let's see. Lori said she's got 3 people wanting wreaths. Way to go, Lori.
Way to go, Lori. I'm so proud of you.
Lori is in our Design with the Pros group.
Yes,
club,
she is, and her wreaths are getting more and more beautiful every day. I love seeing them.
And so that's part of what we do in our club. We teach you how to make your wreaths stand out.
Right.
Have how to have that extra wow factor.
Exactly, because there's a lot of wreaths for sale. And you want people to look at yours. To
look at yours and know that you made it. Because, it's funny, like if you go through Etsy or you're looking at wreaths, you can start to know who made what wreath.
Exactly.
Because you can start to see their style, and you can look at it and say, well, this person made that wreath. I can tell because it's their style. And that's part of what being an artist and being a wreath maker is about, especially if you want to sell your wreaths, is you have to make it your own. Put a little bit of yourself in there and make it unique and different.
Exactly, because that's what gives it that wow factor, is when you put your own personality into it. It's not about necessarily putting this flower here or this greenery here and just placing everything perfect. It's putting some of yourself into every wreath, putting your own personality in it. That's what's going to sell, and that's what people are going to respond to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Suzanne, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And Loretta says, good evening, ladies. Where do you, I think she means, where do you find where do most of your ribbons come from? Well, there's a lot of really good suppliers, but craftoutlet.com is great. They tend to have more unique things.
They do. I love them.
So we get a lot from there. We have, we are supplied directly from places like Lion Ribbon,
Yes.
And things like that. But there's a lot of, there are a lot of wholesalers that you can get them from. Trendy Tree and Craft Outlet, they usually have some really good ribbons.
Yep.
All right.
And now for those, I've had people say, well, I don't have a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby close to me. You can order from those companies, so don't forget about that option as well. If you don't have a way to purchase, wholesale, if you don't have your tax ID number or anything like that, you can just order straight from Michael's or Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, and like she was saying, if you don't have a tax ID, then, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Old Time Pottery, if you have one of those, Joann's Fabric Store, if you have one of those, places like that all have really good ribbon, and even Sam's has seasonal ribbon, but they come in 25-yard rolls, and they're great. Which is
wonderful. Yes, we buy a lot of that. Carolyn said, how do you decide when and where to put your bow? Do you always use a bow? Carolyn, I do not always use a bow. It just depends on the design that I'm making. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I use two bows. It just really depends on the style that I'm doing and whether or not I'm, if I have picked my ribbons first, for instance, if I find a particular ribbon that I want to design a wreath around, then of course I'm going to use the bow then. But sometimes I will just decide, I want to do one that's more like nature or something, and so I won't use a ribbon at all. So it just depends, and what do you think?
Yeah, and my thing with bows is if you're going to use a bow, please make sure that you put your flowers around the bow.
Yes,
that's just like a pet peeve of mine. But that's not even your question. But that's just something that.
Yes, because a lot of times they won't have anything behind it.
Make
and
sure
the bow
you put flowers behind your bow, so that there's not a hole. Because then when you're looking at it from the side, it's like there's a hole.
There's a hole there. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it really just depends on the style that you're going for. If you're going for a more natural look, you might not want to use a bow, or you might just want to use like a small burlap bow or something like that.
Oh, look what Lori said. That is so sweet, Lori. I think God brought you to us, too.
Lori says, I just want to thank you both. I truly believe that God put you in my life to help me fulfill my dreams. Lori, that's so sweet.
That brings tears to my eyes, because that's my goal. I want more than anything to help all of you succeed. And I want everyone that's in our group, I want you to do better than we have even done. I mean, I want you to reach every dream that you've made for yourself. So that means a lot, Lori.
And over the, if you're just joining us, we've been making wreaths since 2007. That's when we started our first website.
Yes.
And in 2007, that was really before like websites, online stores, e-commerce. That was really at the start of that, and we didn't know what we were doing.
I had no idea how to ship anything.
We didn't know what we were doing.
I didn't know anything.
And if there is a struggle, we have seen it.
We have done it.
We have had lows in our business, low, and just being honest with you. We have struggled. We have, it's been, our business has been, seriously a labor of love.
It has.
And we have seen it all, and we've probably done it all, and we've really probably made every mistake, but we've learned from that, and we've grown from that, and now we know what to do and what not to do, and if we can help somebody else maybe not have to go through that struggle.
That's the goal.
Because, it's just by the grace of God that we even, kept at it this last 11 years.
It really, yes.
We're very blessed. We're very blessed that we sold wreaths. We've always consistently sold wreaths, no matter what platform that it was that we were selling on. And we're very blessed. But it's not always easy.
No, it's been difficult.
And if we can help somebody maybe bypass all of those struggles that we, and those mistakes and things that we made, if we can help you not have to do that and not have to do things the hard way, that's what we're here for.
Yes, that's what we're trying to do for people.
Yeah. let's see. Suzanne says, when you put 2 bows on wreaths, what lengths do you do both?
Do you mean what length of the tails, or
I think maybe she's talking about tails.
well, it just depends. Let me show you this one. I'm just going to grab this one right quick. Okay. This is one that, whoops, I'm sorry, sugar. This is one that we did the other day, and I wanted 2 bows because I wanted this one to have a lot of the ribbons, because I really loved the ribbons, and I thought that they worked with the bicycle and the whole whimsical theme, you know, that I was going for. But I didn't want 2 big bows, so I did this one. And as far as the tails, you can see that, you know, I just did them different lengths, and I like to curl them under. That's just something I'm doing right now. I just really like that look, but, you know, you don't have to do that.
So she really used probably, I think I made those actually, but I think they were 12-inch tails and 18-inch.
Yes, because I wanted them, you know, I wanted to have them long enough so that I could curl them up a little bit. So, but I don't know if that's exactly what you were asking. But
I think so. She said length of your cut ribbons. So
oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, and really it would just depend on, you know, what type of wreath you were doing and how you know, the style that you wanted.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Did we went somewhere?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
So anyway, so tonight, you know, tonight's the last night that you can join our Design with the Pros club, and we're really excited about that because we've got some really great things planned for the next few months.
Yes, we do, and you know, the holidays will be here before you know it, and oh, I cannot wait because we have got some amazing things planned for that, and so
let's see. May.
Let's see.
I'm trying to get the sound right. Okay,
sorry
about
that. Trying to get the sound off. Just want to make sure that we don't have any other questions.
Yeah, let's see. And if we missed any, we will come back and answer your questions.
Yes,
for you
we
guys.
definitely will.
Yeah, because for some reason our
comments have frozen.
Crazy.
Yeah, they've just gone crazy. So that's the way Facebook does occasionally. We still love it, but that is the way it does. But anyway, I don't see...
it's not showing us any comments right now. So I guess if you guys have any more questions, just put them in the comment section, and then we will be coming in, you know, the next couple days and answering any questions that you have.
Definitely. And
but yeah, if you would like to know more about our Design with the Pros Club, we will put the link in the comments, and we would love to have you as part of that. We have
really
a great time. We go into a little bit more in depth about how to make wreaths, how to sell wreaths, you know, how to get your designs out there for the world to see. Because I mean, the truth is, if the world doesn't see them, they're not going to sell. So, you know, you have to know how to get your stuff out there and how to market your items. So we teach you all that in our group.
We also, it doesn't matter even if you're someone who sees beautiful wreaths but thinks, you know, I don't know if I could ever make that, but I would like to try. It doesn't matter if you have no experience or if you are a seasoned wreath maker that, you know, just would like to learn some new techniques and that kind of thing. We have a wonderful success path to kind of help you move along exactly how you want to go. So, and we've got trainings for all levels.
Yeah, and I mean, truthfully, we have women in there that don't even have any intention of selling wreaths, and
No,
that's fine. They just want to learn to make
They just want to learn, exactly.
We've got a success path in our group, so you can determine what... let's see. Yes, Mary, we're actually teaching... actually, Saturday, we're going to have our training on Facebook Live. So, not June, but actually Saturday, we're doing that.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you enjoy watching us, Lori, and thank you so much, Cindy, for joining us.
Yes, we appreciate
And thank you all.
you
We
all.
really appreciate you, and we're so blessed that you took the time
to
watch us tonight and spend your evening with us. Now, if you have questions and if you think of something later that you would like an answer to, just post it in the comments, and we will be coming back, checking those questions. And, you know, if we can help you, that's what we're here to do. So let us know what kind of questions you have, and we are always here to help.
Yes, we are.
All right, guys.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I hope you all have a very blessed evening.
Yep, and we will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.